Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off with the white pieces against a 1795 from the US. This looks like it's going to be a bit of a tough match, so we'll bring our A game. We start off with E4, and we wait to see what our opponent has in store for us with a Sicilian. Now, I don't think we've actually seen the Sicilian yet since I've changed my openings. So, what we used to play was a knight F3, looking for a Portsmouth gambit after knight to C6. We also had ideas with the King's Indian attack. We also had ideas with this Queen takes line, looking to get in there. And we also had the delayed Alapin if we really, really wanted it. But now, let me introduce you to the Smith-Morra Gambit. Very, very famous opening if you haven't seen this before. And they decide to take. There is some declined lines. Obviously not as good. And then we sack the pawn, and then they go to push that, which is the boring one, and I think we're just free to take that with the bishop, and then it's just a sort of nice-ish position for us. We can get this knight out, and to be honest, not much has changed from the accepted, apart from this knight gets to sit, doesn't get to sit on c3. So it's more like an Alapin, really, which we're used to. So we're all sort of happy. And after pawn there, I think we can go bishop to f4. Covers the queen coming there, covers the push as well. So they might be in for a d6. And after they push, we're fine, just dropping back. Worst case, we go back onto this diagonal, and that's looking at the king side quite nicely. So I'm not really afraid of these pushes. Now, what's the plan here? Is it a push here? It could be. It very well could be. See, I would have liked this knight here, so it can jump to these sorts of squares. But I think we've got to push here just to stop any shenanigans. And after that, their light squared bishop's a bit blocked in. Their dark squared bishop's not exactly healthy either. Apart from this sort of diagonal, which I guess is quite strong, but we can always stop it if we have to. We potentially have some knight a3 maneuver as well. But I think we need to stop them getting e5, so I am proposing we push e5 ourselves. Because what's a better way of stopping it than doing it yourself, you know? And this diagonal is actually really strong for our light square bishop as well, so we're just going to go ahead and castle, I think. We could also do a knight d4 here ourselves. Which could actually be a better way of getting our knight out. But let's castle. Let's castle for now. So we'll have a look at the Smith-Morra Gambit after the video. We'll look at some games and all the lines and stuff. But generally, like if they take, you're getting the knight out, and it's quite scary. You basically do the same moves, but you've got an extra piece developed. So, but the pawn pushes are sort of the basic way of declining a gambit. You just give the pawn back if they ask for it. Now, I actually think bishop g5 here is quite nice. They're never going to push this with threat of takes and takes. And they'll have to get their queen out first. The only problem is it leaves this a bit scarily loose, but after a rook e1, I think that's fine. And then we really need to spend some time to get this knight into the game, however way we do it. I'm not quite sure about that yet, but I think bishop g5 is quite nice with the pin on the queen. It just means they've got to spend more time fixing that pin. It's stopping the bishop getting active as well. I think they needed to go bishop there first and then get the knight out. And now I think we're just going... We could take... Takes could be quite good. The good thing is that after there, it's pinned again. So I think we go rook to e1, and that's quite common in the King's Indian attack as well. Is letting them sort of take this, so then we can pin it afterwards. Now let's get this knight out. How are we going to get this knight out? I believe it's got to go to d2, really. I think that's the best way. After takes, knight takes, bishop, bishop there. Oh, gosh. Sorry, do that again. Knight takes, bishop there. Knight takes, yeah, bishop there. Bishop there, maybe, is quite good. Yeah, that is quite good, but we also have then pawn, takes pawn potentially with the pin on the king. Takes, queen takes. And that's added another attacker, actually. But we can't do that if the knight's blocked in. So, what's the plan? We could always just go back to f4. Actually, no, we can't, because the knight obviously covers it now. We could potentially also take now and push, which would be interesting to say the least. They can't block it. I don't think they could probably do a knight there, potentially. But after some tricks, it could be alright, actually. Could be alright, I believe. Bishop takes is actually quite interesting. I would like to think that's fun. Bishop takes, pawn takes, push, takes, check, king there, queen there. Would be winning for us. Bishop takes, push, pawn takes, king there. That knight blocks would be bad because then we can go there. Nah, I'm not convinced. Let's get this knight. Let's get this knight out. And if we have to sack this pawn, we have to sack this pawn. And they go there, which is interesting. They're looking to castle. And now maybe we go bishop to c2. Stick the knight on there potentially and go that way. And maybe try to take this knight. Pawn takes would be scary. But I don't think we're doing anything with this diagonal anymore. Unless we actually push now. And after takes, push. Castles. Doesn't really do anything for us. You have a knight there. Bishop goes somewhere there probably. Queen takes, or maybe like a check. Rook takes, queen there. Bishop. I don't think it works. Let's go bishop back to c2. And we're looking to take this knight potentially. They also have ideas of bishop takes f2 if knight takes, because they've got this check here. And I'm not sure at all what they're doing. I think maybe just takes here. Let's maybe knight to b3 now. Just hit this bishop while we can. And potentially we can bring this bishop back. Or maybe play something like h4 could be interesting with the idea of h5. Could potentially be interesting. H4 actually really is interesting, I think. There. Maybe not anymore. Maybe with the knight still back there. No, because that would stop the retreat. H4, H6, bishop D2. Knight takes, bishop F4 is good. Yeah, let's go H4. H4 looks fun, looks interesting. And I think it's the only way, realistically, we're making some sort of counterplay. Because this is a bit of a squeeze for us, really. We've not got many options other than this kingside attack. Yeah. It's a bit rough. I'm not going to lie. But we've come back from worse. Definitely have come back from worse. Including yesterday's episode, which was a marvel that I still had that. I think knight takes now. We go for it. And then a bishop. And they've got no checks anymore. They have takes, but now we've got, because they let us go there, we've got the queen coming in. And we can actually win back the pawn after queen check. Takes. Queen takes, rook takes. Yeah, let's do that. Pawn takes, queen check. He's really nice. And that's fine. We just go queen takes then. Yeah, we just go queen takes and then rook up. And we've got the pawn back, which is great. Slightly worried about this, but I think a knight there solves a lot of our problems. Threatening to take that as well. And if they try to attack our rook, we bring the other one in with tempo. And that's all good. And at the end of the day, this bishop's still dead. This bishop's got two good diagonals, sure. But this backwards pawn is really annoying for them. The bishop pair is a thing they have. I think we go back to e2 just so we're covering this and we still have the opportunity to double up. We want to get a pawn on g3 potentially. We don't want our king on h2 because then they've got to push with check, which isn't nice. We definitely want to double up. And we need to get this bishop in the game somehow because it's not doing a right lot anymore, especially seeing as how they never kingside castled. So yeah, that's where we stand at the minute. If I think of anything else, I'll let you all know. And now I think we just get the other rook in the game. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. We're making threats. We get this knight across. Potentially now. And maybe after a push we go knight f. And maybe we could push another h5. And try weaken some squares up for our bishop here. That doesn't seem too bad at all to me, in my very humble opinion. I'm happy where this is for the time being. I think pretty happy where this is. To say we were in a bit of a squeeze, this has worked itself out a bit. That's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe we play a h5 now, just to stop any more ideas. Although, letting them open up. Maybe we play a G instead. Yeah, maybe we play a G instead. Then if they push, we've not got... We still do have that, actually. And that would be good for us because we're trading off the bishop pair, which is always going to be nice. And now maybe we play a h4. We've got nowhere else really to go. A h4, h5 idea doesn't really work. Maybe we just go back to f then and preemptively go and sit the knight on this square. Force a trade off dark square bishops. Entering into a same colour endgame would potentially be better for us. And then we've got ideas of this check winning this pawn, potentially. Although trading off the rook for 2 pieces, not a particularly smart idea. Can you tell I've been working on my bishop knight endgames? I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Just in the book I've been reading, that's a chapter I've been doing. How to reassess your chess. Absolutely amazing book. Definitely check it out. Whatever rating you are, because obviously it's done by a grandmaster, so it's gonna share knowledge for whatever level. But it's been bishop knights, bishop pairs versus knights, bishop pair versus knight bishop, all that stuff. Super informative, but in like a fun way, you know. And I found out a new way to start study chess for a book, because I always found it quite hard, you know, because you've got these paragraphs and paragraphs of writing, and annotation and moves. It's like you can't do that in your head. So there's a little app I found called Chess Scanner AI or something like that. And do you know the little diagrams you get in the books, like the little black and white pictures of the position? Take a picture of that, and it loads it onto live chess analysis, which is absolutely amazing. And it also shows you if there's games with this positioning. So you can actually sometimes find the game it's actually referencing and go through like the opening and things in. Like show how you actually get to that position, which is just revolutionary for me, really. Because that's the one thing I hated about learning books. Now they played a G what's that, 6 here. Now I think knight e5 is still very much on. It would be very nice for us to try get that in. I'm not sure if we would want to trade off the light square bishop yet. There's no rush. But it's stopping them pushing the pawn, and it's threatening, and ideally they would just take here, and they've gone for that. So now this rook's absolute beast. Nothing can stop it, and we need to figure out a way how to make an attack in this position. So how do we make an attack? Firstly, we can threaten to take this. But after they double up, doesn't really work. Secondly, we can try to push these and threaten to take that, which could work. I think an F push is good either way, just stopping any further shenanigans and closing off this semi-open file as well. So let's push an F first, and we're happy, happy days. So we'll go ahead and push this. If takes, push, and then we're just clearly winning, I believe. Or rook takes is probably better. We've also got takes, and then we're threatening takes as well, because the king and the rook and the bishop. And I think we're just completely winning here. These are my favourite pawn structures to play against. Absolutely. Backwards pawns. Give me that any day of the week. I'll be more than happy. And yeah, that's an interesting move. Maybe we've got a G push with a check, and then... Although, I don't really want to block off activity for our rooks. I don't want to make this weak. So... Maybe we just continue. Maybe we lift up here. To F. We want to stay with the light squares. And maybe we can get this rook over here as well. And just hit that even more. That seems like a decent idea. We've got so much time as well. So, not stressing at all. And potentially even an A4 push could work well. Now they go to take... Okay. I think bishop there is really good now. Because we have the takes pawn. I think that works really well. If takes, we still have rook takes. Yes. Or we could take after pawn takes, then we go bishop there, but the rook can come back or the rook can go double, which is annoying. So maybe we go bishop there first, and after takes we do rook takes, threat to take, double up on there, which is scary enough. We can get or we could go rook to g5. Has a lot of potential, actually. Rook there. So rook there, then takes. And then we could potentially trade off one of the rooks, which would be really nice for us. Because what I'm scared of is them doubling up here, because that gets scary real quick. So maybe we go rook there. And then obviously if they takes, we can just take. And then if they go there, then we can just take. And after rook takes, and I think we're just doing well there. No, because we still got the bishop there. Yeah, let's go rook there. That's quite nice, I believe. Yeah, and we're low on time as per usual. But yeah, I think we're living happy here. Yeah, backwards pawns are just so fun to play against. It's such a nice plan, and you've always got these sacks of taking this pawn. You've got so much time as the attacker as well. Like, there's no pressure at all. You can make these really slow and positional moves, and just grind them down. And it's going to be extremely hard for them to defend, especially with this bishop. Like, yeah, it's the same square and you're defending, but that's it. It's a pawn, basically. It's a tall pawn. And yeah, it's just my favourite. Chef's kiss, you know, bellissimo. Oh, because they're forced to as well. They're forced to take back with the pawn because the bishop stays on there, which is why we shouldn't have done bishop there, because then they can take with the rook. And then we want to get potentially a rook there just to stop them doubling up here. That could be a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a key thing. I would like to trade off one of the rooks, I think. Just to stop any counterplay. And then it's a 2-result game, basically. I'm either winning or drawing. Hopefully winning, because that would be fun. They need to decide what they're doing. I think they're determining whether to take or not. And they go bishop there. Huh. Well, now you say that. Is h7 decent? Is h7 decent? I don't believe it is, which is a shame. I think we just take. I think we've got no reason not to take. And we'll go back to the plan of the pawn. Our king can come round, especially if some of the rooks get traded off. We can come round here. We'll oh, can we push the pawn? Can we push the pawn? That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Can we push f5? f5 push. Pawn takes. Rook takes. King takes. Bishop takes. Bishop goes back. Takes pawn. And we're up a pawn. That's absolutely wild. I really want to do that. And it's all because they've not doubled up their rooks. And this rook's weak. If they decide to go back straight away, then we've got to be careful, because rook takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Rook takes, king takes. Are we up a pawn? No, but we would be even on pawns then. That would be a good continuation for them. Takes. But we can always just do bishop takes. No, yeah, we can always do bishop takes. Because takes... No, because it would be... Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Pawn takes, bishop back. Pawn takes, bishop back is a good move. I think that covers everything, unfortunately. Rook takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, yeah. Takes, rook takes, pawn takes, rook there is just good. So let's just do good then. Let's do good. I think I would have liked to play f5, but I didn't have time to calculate all of the variations, because there is a, well, there's not many, but there's one really good one that you would have to go a long way to sort of make work, you know, jump through some hoops. But yeah, if they take with the pawn, we've got to go rook there straight away, I believe. Or we could go rook there. No. Oh, this might be good for them. Pawn there, just to stop any doubling up. Push. Oh no, we messed this up. Rook there. Gosh. Yeah, let's. Oh, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. I didn't want to have to do that. But I think going rook there is scary because of the pawn push. Although takes. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. And then we're just gonna go. We'll go. Yeah, we'll go king across, and just cover that. Because if they go that way, then we're happy to just to take, and that's completely winning for us. And then also we can trade off as well, and we're living happy as well. Push, king up, takes, rook comes along, king up, and then we're all happy, I believe. We would. This is. I would have. I would have liked to keep the bishop on. Unfortunately, maybe that was a bit of a mistake. But we need to be. We need to be quick here. We need to be decisive. That's the main thing. Because we have a slight positional advantage, but we are still even on pawns. That's the problem. So it could prove hard to win. Okay, what are you looking to push one of these? Let's play an a3 then, and just stop that and focus everything on this. Potentially we have some push here, and then another push and takes. Takes, rook takes, king takes, and we go up a pawn that way, potentially. Ooh, I don't know. If the king ever moves as well, we have a rook takes pawn situation, which could be really nice. I think a g4 is the way to go here. I'm not too worried about that. Let's move the king up. We're also potentially threatening to push that, but I don't think that works because king goes back. And then everything's still covered. So we're going to have to break with the f pawn. After takes. Or potentially you've even got takes and then takes there. King takes. But then we're even again. I think it's heading to equality, unfortunately. I believe it could be heading to equality. That's a weird move for them. That's a really weird move for them. Let's go rook h1, and we're looking for some tricks trying to trade off this rook. And we're just trying to get active because potentially we've got some tricks with g5 and looking to do that. However, again, it's sort of heading towards a draw no matter what. Yeah. If we can get a pawn, be a lot happier. But it still potentially could be a draw because rook endgames with a pawn difference can still be a draw. That's a bit of a mistake. Let's go back. They're just going to repeat, I think. And if we push, they're going to go up to f7. Yeah. Yep. Let's go rook there, just to stop any sort of checks that way. Maybe that was a bit of a mistake, giving them a tempo. Potentially, if we can get a rook there, that's quite nice. We'll go king g3 just to cover this back rank as well. Not back rank, this whatever it is. I don't know anymore. Now we're going to play a g5 and just try to boot the king away. Followed by a rook e2, and that's just to cover this backwards pawn as well. And I think this is probably drawn at this point. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's not much that can be done. We've got to kick this rook out as soon as we can, because we can't have them doubling up. Although if they go there, that will allow them to double up, which would be annoying. But at that point we go there, potentially. Oh, I don't even know. Oh, I've not got enough time. I want to think about it some more. Yeah, that's a good move from them. We'll go rook e3, potentially hitting that. And it could be a repetition here. Although we have like a rook h2, which could work. We'll try that. Yeah. And then, yeah, we'll go king g3, just so we're close to the action as well. And now this is potentially better for us, but it's still dubious. We potentially want to get a rook in here. That would be really nice. And I probably should have done that instead of rook to d2, because after they go, yeah, especially with the king here, it's stopping that, and that I think is actually winning a pawn for us, because we're still covering our b2 pawn as well. And potentially we could be winning here. It's going to be close no matter what we do, basically. Going to be very close. And it seems like it's going to go on for a while as well, which is brilliant. I don't know if you guys prefer the longer videos or the shorter ones. I think the shorter videos are a bit more digestible, easier to watch. But you know, with a 15 plus 10 time control, it's going to be really hard to not make it long sometimes. Especially with the analysis afterwards. And if our opponents saved up all their time for one move as well, definitely makes a difference as well. I think we potentially do still have time to do this little maneuver. That is the dream, really. That's their weakest pawn. And we've got an all-access pass to get to the b4 square to hit that pawn. So that's the way to go for now. I think, yeah, I don't think any of their checks work, because we can come down and block as well. And they're going to have to take a move to go hit this, so we move back up again. But we've got a spare move as well. So we've got a tempo in the bank with that, which is going to be all good. And it seems like they're not doing anything. Maybe they're thinking of some pawn push with a king coming in. It's not a horrible idea, to be fair. Not a horrible idea at all. In fact, that's potentially their better chance. Let's continue with the plan. There's still no threat of them hitting this, and we're just taking this pawn. And we're up a pawn, which is good. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. But now we've got to make sure that this pawn is actually winning. And it should be, because this one's going to be weak as well. As long as we can stop these two pawns doing their thing, then I'm pretty happy. Maybe we just take this. I was thinking about doing that, but after rook there, we're struggling to defend this because we can't go there because the rook check there. So there, but then like that move, and maybe we just let them push, because if we take and then they push, then we're taking this, which is all good. So if we take and then they take and we get the king out, then that's all good as well. We just go back because they can't ever push this. Let's do that. Let's take this one. Maybe that was a bad idea. I think the checks... No, because then we go there and we hit the rook as well. Yeah. No, I think we're all good. I think we're all good here. It's going to be close. We're up a pawn. We finally got the pawn that we wanted, that we deserved. And after they check here, we're just going to drop straight down because they can't do anything. Like, literally can't do anything. We're going to look to trade off the rook. Yeah, we're going to look to trade off the rook. Are we? Or rook, king there, takes, pawn takes, king there. Push, king back. Yeah, I think we do that. Rather than going for any checks, I think we do that. And then this pawn's going to be absolutely scary. It's like, not scary, terrifying, basically, is a better word to say. We just got to be careful about the king getting this pawn. But I think we're just quicker. That's the point. We're just quicker. Ooh, that's interesting. Takes, pawn takes. Takes, pawn takes, king there. King there, there. And we win that. Yeah, that's all good. They can't defend this pawn. And if they go back, then they're going back and they're not getting back in, basically. So we're all good here. Oh! Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's a sneaky move, though. That's a really... I like that. I like the inspiration for that. Because this is backwards, so it basically makes it null and void. But the position of the kings, getting the king active, makes it so I believe we win. Again, could be wrong, but king and pawns are a bit simpler to calculate, so I'm pretty sure we're fine here. We're winning. And they should be resigning promptly. I believe. Resignation? Maybe? They play on. Fairs. Fair enough. But, yeah. Oh, they go for that. So takes, king there, there, king takes, push, king there, push. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. We could even potentially go that way, which is probably even better, to be fair. Just so we're taking this after we promote the queen. And if the king goes up, we go up as well. Now that's a good question. Maybe we wanted to go forward. Maybe we wanted to go to the pawn. Push, push, takes. Yeah, we've got to push this. Push, push, takes. Push, 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 promote. Yeah, I think B3 is the key move here. I think this probably could be draw. I think I messed it up going king b4, unfortunately. I think I messed that up. This is winning for us, though. Because we've got a bit of a fortress with the pawns, I believe. Hopefully, we can block all these checks. If we can get our queen in the game, this is one for us. We trade off queens and promote the pawn. But this has gotten very, very sort of long and drawn out for no apparent reason. What's the way to do this? What's the way to do this? If we go up, we lose. If we go that way, maybe we've just got to get to the queen and abandon this pawn. The queen is... Oh. There. Takes with check. There. There. If we go that way, again, we can't get close to the king. If we go that way, we get in checked like crazy, like that. And if we go, we can't go on either of these two squares is the problem. And that would force us onto them. That way, we're getting checked no matter where we go, really. So we've got to go up. We've got to go up, unfortunately. What? That's a draw? Oh, that's not threefold repetition, is it? Surely. Queen b1? Really? I swear that was only 2 times. Well, maybe it was 3. Anyway, what can you do? The computer says it's draw anyway, so who cares? Game review, because that was super, super interesting. We'll quickly go over that because I know it has been a long video as well. 88.7 for me, 89.5 for them, 2250, 300. I don't know if I said that right. 2300, whatever that is. So the opening, they pushed it, boring, obviously, and then we're right to take with the bishop, and then you go knight out there, just like you would with a normal one. But it's asking us to just castle here. So maybe it doesn't like that. Maybe it just wants the bishop on this diagonal already and go like a bishop to c2, queen there. And that's all good. Yeah. Again, it wants the bishop to move back, which is completely crazy. But I guess we sort of ended up doing that anyway. And it wasn't a big fan of the pawn push. It wanted knight takes, actually. What was our best move in that situation? A5. On A4, sorry. I think I might have seen something similar to that before in the prep. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like that. Undermining their light squares, pinning the knight. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. And apparently this is just not that good. Oh, it's even, at least. I feel like my bishops are slightly bit better, but I can see why the computer would say that's even. And D5 is better for us. I guess we just do what we did and launch our kingside attack. And then it didn't want bishop G5. It's still drawing, but it wanted the knight out first while you've still got the two defenders, I think, of the pawn. And then again, it's looking for A4, and I think that's something I've got to keep in mind. When they've got the A6, B5, look for the A4, especially with the bishop on this diagonal. It's a killer. And the queen's already on this diagonal anyway, so it's going to be a killer no matter what, basically. Knight there's all good. And it wanted queen to E2, which is, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Just covers again. And it's covering the F2 square as well. And it liked the knight there. I was a bit unhappy with the result from the knight there, but apparently it's good. And H4 we sort of guessed that, but it looked good. It looked like it sort of started a kingside attack. And it turned out quite good for this in the endgame. And it didn't want bishop there, which is strange. Maybe it just wanted to give up the pawn for the attack. But the knight there is interesting at least. I don't know what it's threatening. I don't know if you can turn threats on in chess.com, but I don't feel like that's actually threatening much. Maybe a knight there because of the pin. But yeah, I don't know. F6, yeah, and then bishop takes, and then queen, yeah, and we had to take the queen as well. So that's some good. Rook c2 is perfect, doubling up, and this is actually even for us. It's drawing, so yeah, good result to say we draw. We managed to get the pawn, but we messed it up. They made some good complications, to be fair. It liked locking up actually, rather than king to f2, which we said, I think we mentioned at some point, maybe not at this point, but yeah. And then takes, yeah, we wasn't sure about takes, I don't think. And then bishop takes, obviously not the best. It actually wanted bishop back to d1 there, which is strange. Bishop back to d1, please. Show moves. There we go. It's just super complicated. You're just trying to get to g4 just to support the pawn break there. And yeah, this is dead drawn, which I think I said. It's slight positional advantage, but I think they played it quite poorly. Not poorly, but maybe wrong. They didn't take the chances they had. I'm curious about the rook move. There we go. So what was it? Yeah. Takes there, and king there. Yeah, perfect. And it did actually want d4. That was what I wanted to know. d4 is just a really good move. Takes full advantage over our positional play, and he wants to actually give up the pawn there, or not get double the pawn there, which is super cool. Maybe he wants to push that. Anyway, interesting. In fact, let's have a look at that, because that's super cool. Push. Okay, yeah, that fixes the sort of pawn structure. And backwards pawns aren't that bad when it's just kings and pawns, but it's the rooks and the knights that make it good to play against. And we did the exact right thing, taking this pawn, not taking this. And it didn't actually want us to take this back either, which is super weird. But our pawn advantage is only 0.3. And then, yeah, that's... I thought they were just going to go king there. I thought they were going to do that. But that's super interesting. And we did the right thing. We just... When did we lose it? Oh, we... What? Wow. It wanted... it. We were nowhere near. Nowhere near the mark on that. Apparently you don't push C, which is crazy. You just take the pawn. And we did the right thing there as well, taking that. But it's still sort of winning for us. Oh, and it's king there. What? King there's apparently winning, but that's drawing. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely despise queen and king endgames. Because there's just so many checks to choose from and so many king moves to choose from, and each one has a drastic consequence of the game, and it's so hard to decide which one to pick. But like as we can see here, just one square difference is the difference between winning and drawing. So let's have a look at that king h a5, because I don't understand how that's any different at all. So the point is, after queen to e1 and then king to a6, they have no more checks that work. They've only really got that, and if they don't check us, we've got time to check them and trade off queens. But after that one, which they never ended up doing, we have chances to get our queen back into the game. So again, where are their checks here? If hit there, we block. There, anywhere, we block as well. Those are their only checks. So once you get the queen in the game, it's winning for us. But we never managed to do that, so that's why it was a draw. And there's no amount of king maneuvers you can do. We can try going upwards. I don't think it makes a difference. It's still drawn. Yeah, even if we lose up both these pawns, it's still drawn. So we can never lose this, unless obviously we did the mistake of going to one of these squares, which would have been very bad. But yeah, it was a fun game. Let's have a look at the opening. Let's quickly have a gander at the d3 line. So this is probably the most common boring move you would see, other than takes. People just love saying no to free pawns. So we'll have a look at game here. This is from Artyom Zubritz something versus Luilan Baltag. Win for white. So let's have a quick gander. And they go with the c4, which is super weird. I've not seen that. So it's turned into a bit more of a weird English Sicilian sort of thing. Weird. But yeah, I mean, it just stops. It's not the usual structure of the Smith Morra that you want. So it is a good alternative for black if you want to say no to it, but it's just boring. It's just boring. It's just such a regular game after that. You know, you decline a gambit, it turns into a regular game, you know. So not much particularly exciting there. There's possibly some more exciting ones. We'll have a look at another date. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was quite an entertaining little game. Long game, actually. I don't know how many moves was it. We had 75 moves. Whew. Wow, marathon that. But yeah, please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all later. Bye-bye.